Okay, peeps, welcome back. So today we're going to go over the max Fibonacci level profit targets for all of the Grayscale trusts. This basically indicates what the absolute maximum potential is or return on investment on these particular trusts by the peak of the cycle. So with that being said, let's get it. All right, so you guys already know we're going to start with LTCN first. For those of you guys that got into LTCN before this breakout as support, good job. Again, we did have a bullish candle close above this previous candle, and which is a green, basically a bullish engulfing candle. And we also did have a close above the trend line. So that's very bullish. Definitely expecting LTCN to pop off to pretty high highs, not too far from the futures. So let's go ahead and go over to the Fibonacci levels. Excuse me. So I'm going to measure this one of two ways, okay? So if the price of the Grayscale trust that we're looking at is not currently at all-time highs or it has not hit all-time highs this cycle, we'll do a macro swing high retracement, which means retracing from the all-time highs to low-time highs to kind of gauge where it could go. If it has hit all-time highs, we're going to gauge basically from the most previous all-time high to potentially where the new all-time high could be. So I'll show you guys what that looks like here in a minute. And this, again, is to kind of refresh your guys' memory as to what to expect in terms of where the prices could go into the futures. So once again, LTCN's all-time high at the break-even level here at the 1 is about $510, as you guys can see. So the four different Fibonacci levels here is going to be the 1.618, 2.618, 3.618, and 4.236 respectively. Again, this is going to be the same no matter what we measure. So the first level at the 1.618 is going to be about $820. Second level is $1,350. Third level is $1,850, and fourth level is just shy of roughly about $2,200. And again, based on the market cap of LTCM, which again, if I'm not mistaken, is like 110 million or something like that, I would say any of these price points is definitely possible. I mean, just to get to $320, I mean, you're talking LTCN would only be like $1 billion market cap. I mean, that's essentially nothing. So there's a lot of native cryptos that made it into the top 100 last cycle that were like, I think to get into the top 100, that crypto project would have had to have like 8 billion or something like that. So again, this is even that would only be an eighth of like the top 100 crypto project. So the market cap on LTCN to get up to the first fib level would only have to be roughly about maybe 3 to 4 billion, which again is really not honestly that much. So I would say that this level here, assuming that the LTCN trust gains enough traction with the community, absolutely will hit any of these fib levels. So let's go ahead and do the numbers on what that would be. So I'm just going to, for each one of these, I'm just going to measure the top fib level. We'll assume the most bullish case scenario and compare it to the current price. So this top one was 2180. Divide that by 32.55, which is the current price. You'd be looking at roughly about a 67x. So we'll just say you put, I don't know, maybe do what we did and put $5,000 in. Again, that's not financial advice, just picking a random number here. So you'd be looking at about $335,000 in profit. So let's go ahead and do this again on BCHG. So again, very similar to LTC and BCHG does also look quite bullish. This is an inside bar though. So this green candle bar did not close above the red candle bar. It's actually within the red candle bar, which tells me that likely it will pull back to the trend line before it pops off. So not quite as bullish as LTCN, but it did still have a close above the trend line. That's very good. For those of you guys that got in down here before the breakout, congrats. I can't say for sure you're going to make bank, but based on the way that this is looking, I'd say it's very bullish. And again, good job if you ended up getting in on the dip. So the all-time high here is $60, as you guys can see on that resistance level there. So the current price of BCHG is much closer to its all-time high compared to LTCN. LTCN has way more room to run up to get to an all-time high compared to BCHG. So LTCN would have to go up like a 15x or more to get to its all-time high, whereas BCHG only has to do roughly about a 4x. So just something to think about there. Now, if I pull this back from the macro high to the macro low, again, this is how we're going to measure this because it has not hit highs yet during this cycle. You guys can see the levels up here. So we have $98, $154, $218, and $256 respectively. Current price is $13.28, so we'll just do $256 divided by $13.28. And again, we'll just use the same random amount, which is 5,000. You'd be looking at about a $96,000 profit. So again, that's if it hits the top level, which again, BCHG, as far as I know, is a pretty small market cap. So even at 100 million, that's definitely a possibility. I mean, this thing would have to do roughly about a 20x on the market cap. So even at 100 million, it would only go to 2 billion, which again is basically nothing. So in crypto, $2 billion market cap is like almost a joke. I mean, again, Dogecoin went to 90 billion. It went from like 100 and some million to 90 billion. So think about that for a second. 100 billion to 2 billion in crypto, that's nothing. So you'd make almost $100,000 on this position. So pretty epic returns there. HSEN, again, this is another one that didn't really get a chance to really show its true potential in the previous bull run. It pretty much got smacked down right at the end of the bull run of the last cycle. So no new highs on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and do the measure move here on HSEN. So I don't know what the exact low is here, but I think that's pretty close to where it is, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's not exact, but it's pretty close. I would say it's close enough. So, whoops, I did not mean to do that. But yeah, okay, this looks a little funky, so I'll worry about that later. But anyways, so the current price is $5.20, and the top fib level here is 126. So as you can see, the potential gains on this thing is ridiculous. Keep in mind, a lot of these Grayscale trusts only have a market cap of like $5 or $6 million, not billion, million. So they're like super, super small caps. So these Fibonacci levels that I'm showing you guys may not even fully justify the moves these things can do, because they might, based on market cap alone, they might actually go higher than these top fib levels. But we're just going to use this as our current measurement because, again, we don't have new all-time highs on these particular ones just yet. So you got $48, $80, $107, and $127 respectively. Current price is $5.20. So if I were to do $127 divided by 520, you guys can see the return here is absolutely ridiculous. So you get about a 25x on your money roughly, times 5K, 122K. So that's actually better than BCHG. And again, I'm not saying HSN is going to outperform BCHG. I don't think it is, but just something to think about when comparing the current price to the all-time highs. And again, I mean, if HSN got up to $126, is 24x on the market cap. I mean, that would put this thing at like maybe like $120 million, which again is kind of laughable in crypto, because a $120 million project right now on CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko is going to be like the top 300. So even that move is actually quite small compared to what it potentially could be. So ETCG all-time highs, you guys can see, is $96. Current price is $13. So we're going to do the Fibonacci retracement here, and I'm sure these numbers are going to look absolutely insane. I would not be surprised. So just to get to all-time highs from the current price is going to be roughly about, say, somewhere around a 7 to 8x. I think 7 to 8x. Let me actually measure this real quick on the calculator. So 96 divided by 13. Yeah, roughly about a 7x. Okay, so we have 152, 250, 345, and $400 respectively. So basically we'll do 400 divided by 13. 0.16, and we got a 30x. So again, 30x times 5K, as you guys can see here, $150,000. So that's actually better than HN. So we went from BCHG being a little bit lower to higher on HN to still higher on ETCG. That is quite interesting. But again, the fib level targets are based on how far the all-time high is away from the current price. ETCG, as you guys know, is at a discount. I believe it's the only Grayscale trust right now at a discount, and it does have about 100 million market cap. And that is, again, because of the spot Bitcoin ETFs. The Ethereum spot ETF has not been approved yet. I will get into that in the next Grayscale video. So 400, to go from 13 to 400, again, a 30x the market cap. $100 million times 30x is $3 billion. $3 billion is a little bit more up there in crypto, but again, in the peak of a bull run, that's not even going to touch the top 100. So it's not really that much ultimately. So this is ETH-E. This is the actual Ethereum trust, not the Ethereum Classic like this one back here. So yeah, I did not mean to do the I did not mean to do the I forget what that thing is called, the measurement tool. So the Fibonacci levels here on this one, 107, 175, 241, and 281 respectively. Current price $23.20. So it looks like roughly about a 10x. So 283 divided by 2320. 12x, so still pretty good. I mean, it depends on, I mean, there's no guarantee that any of these are going to hit their fib levels, but based on market cap, I would say that, in my opinion, the top fib level is absolutely a possibility. So 60K, that's still a good return. I don't think anybody's going to complain about turning 5K into 60K. I don't know anybody that would be upset about that. So let's now move on to Phil G. So this one's going to be measured a little bit differently. Again, we're going to measure from the most recent all-time high to the current swing low, because again, we saw new all-time highs during this cycle, not during a previous cycle. And again, it is essentially the same thing as we did with these ones, but of course the trust that we're looking at now hit the all-time highs this cycle versus last cycle. So these numbers are going to be pretty ridiculous, but we're going to go ahead and go over them anyway. So 610, 968, 1306, and 1510. And then you have 115 at the current price. So 1510, it's looking like maybe about a 12x on Phil G. And again, the underlying token, if it does go back to all-time highs, is roughly about a 50x to get to all-time highs. So that tells me that if the underlying token can do a 50x at this top fib level, is probably not even going to be the cycle peak, but we'll just have to see. So 13x, again, that's not bad. You turn 5K into 65K. So GBAT, this is the one that people probably want to know about the most besides LTCN, because again, we did talk about this previously. So let's go ahead and go over it. I actually need to redo this one because I just kind of screwed this up a little bit. So swing high to swing low, as of right now, this is kind of what we're looking at. So $48, $74, $100, and $116 respectively, with the current price being $17.50. So roughly about a 10x just to get to the new swing high. So 116 divided by 1750. You'd be looking at about 6x on your money. So, did I say 10x? Yeah, I must have been reading that wrong. My bad. So 6x, again, that's not bad, but the basic attention token Grayscale Trust is like very small. It's like 5 million or 4 million or something like that. So it's almost non-existent. So this thing could easily do 100x based on the growth of the market cap. But again, it would turn 5K into about 33K, so that's not bad. I mean, you could buy a new car with that. Or you could buy a boat if that's your thing. I don't know how much boats cost these days, but if you wanted to get a boat and you could afford to buy one for 33K, well, there it is. So, Live Peer, again, I don't know much about this one. I never actually owned any Live Peer, so I have no idea what it's about. But the fib levels are 120, 188, $252 and $295 respectively, with the current price being $26. So this one would actually be roughly about a 10, 11x. So let's see here, 295 divided by 26, 11x. I do absolutely think that an 11x is a realistic possibility. Again, a lot of these, not all of these grayscale trusts, there's a few that have like a 100 million, which again, a 20, 30, 40x on those is possible. But these ones that have like $5-10 million in it, which is very, very tiny, I honestly would say a 50, 100, maybe even a 200x is possible, just based on the size of the current market cap. But these fib levels are only going to measure so much, so that's the reason why I throw those in there. So with GLIV, 5K turned into 56K. So here's G-Link. This is based on the Chainlink cryptocurrency, which again is like some kind of smart contract platform or something like that. It's very popular. It's gaining a lot of traction with traditional finance and all that. So definitely a very popular project. I could see this one going up long term, if I'm being honest. So 307, 440, 580, and 664. Current price 108. So you'd be looking at roughly about maybe a 6x. I mean, if you wanted to try to magnify your gains, you could wait for some kind of pullback, maybe into the support zone here, which would make it a lot more. If you got into the bottom of support and rode it up to the fib level, that'd be a 10x instead. But, of course, that's up to you guys how you want to do that. So about a 6x on your money here, as you guys can see, turn 5K into 30K. It's not a guarantee, but, if this works out like we're showing you guys here, then that's pretty much what you would have. So this one we actually, this one we kind of have to measure a little bit differently. So basically what we're looking at here is this is the swing high, this is the swing low, and that's how we're going to get our measurement on GSOL. So 830, 1260, 1650, and $1,900 respectively. Current price $390. Again, this thing could pull all the way back down here to roughly about 180 on the pullback out of this kind of triangle pattern here. If it does pull back to 180 and you guys hold it all the way up to 1900, that would turn your money into a 10 or 11x roughly, versus if you just decided to buy in now and hold until the Fibonacci top, or the 4.236, it would only be a 5x. So you'd essentially be doubling your money if you waited for a pullback to that zone. But of course, there's no guarantee it could pull back. It could break out instead. So how you guys want to go about managing that, that's up to you. But 5K into 24K, as you can see here. So GXLM just recently hit highs. We're going to measure this from the top to the bottom here. So we're looking at $92, $128, $166, and $189 respectively. Current price is $33. So we'll take 189 divided by 33 and then times that by 5K. So you'd be looking at about 6x, so 5K into 28K there. Mana, this is one that we still own. Again, this is really pushing on the apex of this breaking point here, but I suspect we're going to get our confirmation move this upcoming week on Mana. I don't think it's going to chop around sideways any longer after that. I could be wrong, but I just don't see that as being likely, if I'm being honest. I think it's going to explode up or down one way or another. So $106, $160, $217, and we'll just say $250 on the top fib level here. Current price $20. So pretty good move from the current price to the top fib level. So $250 divided by 20, 12.5x times 5K would turn 5K into 62.5K. So Zcash, this is one that we actually own the underlying token for, but not the actual trust, at least not yet. We've had plenty of time to buy down here, but we did not do it. We went with GBAT instead. So that, of course, that was a choice. That's the thing about That's the thing about buying or investing in multiple different positions. We take the opportunity on one, but in exchange for that, we're giving up the opportunity on another one. This is how we've learned to become comfortable with missing opportunities and not FOMOing into things, is because, again, like I told y'all before, if you miss an opportunity, there's likely going to be 1,000 more right around the corner waiting for you if you can find them. So if you guys want to FOMO or not, that's up to you. But we tried our best not to FOMO because that usually does not end well. So swing high to swing low. Whoops. Actually, I have to do this one differently. Sorry. So Zcash's all-time high was actually way back here at October 2021. So at least until we get to new all-time highs, this is how we're going to have to measure it. So $63, about $104, $144, and then $167 respectively. Current price is $5. So in my opinion, this one is seriously undervalued. And of course, the market cap is basically non-existent, which means that, it could do, based on market cap alone, it could do 100x. I mean, 100x $5 million. If this thing is even at 5 million, would still only be 500 million. Again, 500 million in the peak of a bull run in the native crypto space is probably not even going to get a project in the top 200. So something to think about. So 167 divided by 558 is a large move. That's a 30x. So times that by 5K, you'd be looking at about 150K. Am I saying it's going to go up to this top fib level? No, there's no guarantees. Again, it's a combination of just how bullish the markets are, how many people buy these trusts, whether the trusts choose to try to dilute shareholders like AMC and GME are doing, which again, I don't think Grayscale is going to do, and I hope to God they don't do that. But a lot of things to consider here. And of course, the spot Ether ETFs, if those get approved, I can tell you all right now, I am nearly 100% certain that we're going to see a massive, huge, just absolutely stupid altcoin super cycle. And not just for Ethereum, but anything that is on Ethereum, like any ERC20 token, like Basic Attention Token, and let's see what else. Basic Attention Token and Filecoin. I mean, those are all. No, I think Filecoin's a different thing, but Basic Attention Token, Decentraland, those are ERC20 tokens. So you already know if Ethereum goes up in value because everybody in the world's trying to eat all the Ethereum, then of course all the altcoins that get exchanged on Ethereum are naturally going to go up in value too, which ideally should boost up the price of these Grayscale trusts that are in correlation with the price action of those underlying cryptos. So anyways, hope y'all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.